The rain-slicked streets of Manhattan gleamed like shattered glass under the sodium lamps, and Alex Harper slammed the cab door with a curse that fogged the window. His tie hung loose, soaked through from the downpour, but it was the voicemail buzzing in his pocket that hit harder than the storm. His ex's voice, slurred and venomous, calling him every name in the book for daring to move on. As he trudged toward the glowing lobby of Vanguard Media, heart pounding like a bass drum in a half-empty club, the doors whooshed open to reveal a stranger who looked like he'd stepped out of Alex's wildest late-night fantasy. Tall, with tousled dark hair that defied the humidity and a jawline sharp enough to cut through the corporate bullshit, the man extended a hand that was warm and steady. "Jordan Reyes, starting today in creative. You must be Alex, the guy who makes those viral campaigns that keep the bosses off our backs." His voice was low, laced with a faint Texas drawl that wrapped around Alex like smoke from a hidden bonfire, and those hazel eyes? They locked on, unflinching, as if he'd already clocked the rainbow pin on Alex's lapel and decided it was an invitation. Alex's laugh came out shaky, too loud for the echoing marble floor, but Jordan just grinned wider, slinging his messenger bag over one shoulder like he owned the place already. In that split second, amid the fluorescent hum and the distant clack of heels on tile, Alex felt the city's pulse sync with his own. A queer spark in the gray grind of Adland, promising late-night pitches and maybe, just maybe, something real to chase away the ghosts of bad breakups. By the end of that first week, Alex couldn't remember what silence sounded like. Jordan crashed into Vanguard like a meteor, all easy charisma and sketches that turned heads in the bullpen. Their desks were shoved together in the open-plan chaos of the 42nd floor, a sea of MacBooks and mood boards stretching to the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Times Square's eternal frenzy. Alex, who'd been grinding here for 3 years since graduating from NYU, churning out slogans for energy drinks and luxury watches, suddenly had a co-conspirator. Jordan, fresh from Austin with a portfolio that screamed indie film grit, doodled concepts on napkins during lunch. A queer couple stealing a kiss in a boardroom, tagline, "Break the pitch." They bonded over bad coffee from the vending machine and worse office gossip. "So you're out here, huh?" Jordan asked one afternoon, leaning back in his ergonomic chair, feet kicked up on a stack of comps. The sun slanted through the blinds, painting stripes across his forearms, veined and dusted with faint ink from tattoos Alex itched to trace. Alex nodded, stirring his styrofoam cup. Out and loud. Pride floats, drag brunches, the works. "You?" Jordan's smile flickered, just for a beat, before he shrugged. "Let's just say I've got my own parade. Smaller crowd, but fierce." It was vague enough to intrigue, specific enough to hook. Alex filed it away like a plot twist in one of those indie flicks they binged on streaming after hours. Those after hours became ritual. After the team scattered to subways and overpriced lofts, Alex and Jordan lingered, hashing out ideas until the cleaning crew rattled carts down the halls. One night, as the city lights bled orange into the sky, Jordan pulled up a playlist on his phone. Indie folk with a queer edge, Bon Iver meets Perfume Genius, and they sprawled on the conference room floor, backs against the wall, passing a bag of takeout tacos. "Tell me something true," Jordan said, his knee brushing Alex's in the dim glow of a forgotten projector. Alex hesitated, the warmth of that touch sparking like static. "I came out at 16. Dad walked out the next day. Mom baked cookies like it fixed everything." Jordan's eyes softened. No pity, just a nod that said he'd been there. "Mine was quieter, more like a slow burn. But hey, we're here now, right? Queer kings in the concrete jungle." Alex fell hard, the kind of fall that sneaks up like fog off the Hudson. Jordan's laugh was a lifeline on days when client calls turned brutal, his texts a midnight anchor. "Stuck on the F train. Send memes." They hit the village for karaoke, belting show tunes in a dive bar sticky with spilled beer, Jordan's arms slung casual around Alex's shoulders as they stumbled out into the neon haze. Romance bloomed tentative, then fierce. A brush of fingers over falafel at Mamoon's, a stolen glance during a pitch meeting that left Alex fumbling words. The first kiss happened on a fire escape off Bleecker Street. Rain pattering on the metal like applause, Jordan's hands framing Alex's face with a gentleness that belied the storm in his gaze. "Your trouble?" Alex murmured against his lips, tasting salt and possibility. Jordan pulled back just enough to whisper, "Good kind, I hope," but cracks spiderwebbed early, if Alex had looked closer. Jordan dodged questions about family like they were live wires, deflecting with jokes about his eccentric Texan roots, or pivoting to Alex's latest campaign triumph. At a queer networking mixer in Chelsea, amid rainbow flags and craft cocktails, Jordan stuck to the edges, nursing a seltzer while Alex schmoozed. "Not my scene," he muttered when Alex teased him later, but there was an edge to it, a shadow that cooled the buzz. Alex chalked it up to newcomer jitters, the city's overwhelm. After all, who wasn't carrying baggage from the heartland? Jordan's touch in the dark of Alex's Bushwick walk-up, fingers mapping collarbones, breaths mingling like secrets, erased doubts. They built a world in stolen moments. Weekend hikes in the Palisades, where Jordan's stories flowed freer under the autumn leaves. Tales of college zines and underground poetry slams that made Alex's chest ache with envy and want. As November chilled the air, their collaboration at work hit fever pitch. The Big Pitch, a national campaign for echo threads, apparel line pushing inclusivity, ads featuring diverse bodies, queer joy front and center. Alex and Jordan led the charge, their tagline, "Wear your story," landing like a gut punch in focus groups. Late nights blurred into dawn, fueled by diner runs and Jordan's quiet humming as he sketched. One evening, as snow flurried against the windows, Jordan paused mid-pencil stroke, watching Alex type furiously. "You ever feel like you're shouting into the void?" he asked, voice barely above the whir of the AC. Alex glanced up, caught the vulnerability in those hazel depths. "Every day. But then I remember why. Folks like us, we deserve the spotlight." Jordan's smile was bittersweet, hand squeezing Alex's under the table. "Yeah, deserve it." The betrayal simmered unspoken until the holiday party, a glittering affair in the firm's rooftop lounge, fairy lights strung like stars over the skyline. Alex, tipsy on eggnog and triumph. The echo pitch had won, champagne corks popping like fireworks, tugged Jordan into a corner alcove, away from the jazz trio's wail. "To us," he toasted, clinking plastic flutes, leaning in for a kiss that promised more. Jordan met it halfway, then froze, eyes darting to a cluster of suits by the bar. "Not here," he hissed, stepping back like Alex was fire. The rejection stung, sharp as the winter wind whipping up from below, but Alex played it off with a laugh. "Fine, Mr. Mysterious. Your loss." Hours later, buzz fading into a cab's vinyl seat, Jordan cracked. "It's not you. Everything." The words tumbled out in fits. A conservative family in Austin, a brother who disowned him after a leaked photo from a campus rally, a string of hookups that left him hollow because trust was a luxury he couldn't afford. "I thought New York would be different. Clean slate." Alex listened, thumb tracing Jordan's knuckles in the dark, the city blurring past like a fever dream. "It is. With me, it can be." They ended up at Alex's, tangled in sheets that smelled of laundry detergent and regret, Jordan's whispers turning to please as dawn crept in. For the first time, Alex saw the fractures. Not just scars, but fresh wounds, the kind that bleed when pressed. Winter clamped down on the city like a vice, turning breaths to ghosts and sidewalks to ice rinks. Alex threw himself into the Echo launch, billboards blooming across Soho with models and threads that whispered rebellion. Queer hands intertwined, captions bold. "Your story, unraveled." Jordan shone in the spotlight, his visuals capturing a rawness that had execs buzzing, but off hours, the man unraveled too. Mornings after, he'd wake with a start, checking his phone like it held grenades, deleting texts from numbers Alex never saw. "Family stuff," he'd say, forcing a grin over breakfast burritos from the corner truck. Alex nodded, but the knot in his gut tightened. Love wasn't blind, just hopeful, and hope has a shelf life. They carved out escapes. A weekend in the Catskills, cabin rented on a whim, wood smoke curling from the chimney as they hiked snow-dusted trails. Jordan opened up in fragments. Childhood Christmases with a father who preached fire and brimstone from the pulpit. A mother who baked pecan pies but whispered prayers for healing when no one watched. I ran at 18, he admitted one night, stars pricking the black sky above their mugs of spiked cider. Zines were my armor. Wrote about boys who loved fierce, worlds where we won. Alex leaned into him, the fire's crackle underscoring the ache. You won. Look at us, campaign of the year, rooftop views, this. Jordan's laugh was hollow, but his kiss lingered, desperate, as if memorizing the shape of safety. Back in the city, the idol fractured. A client dinner at Per Se, all crystal and hushed opulence, where Jordan's charm faltered under the weight of small talk. When the VP, a silver-haired shark named Harlan, clapped Jordan's shoulder and boomed, "So, Reyes, what's your story?" Texas boy making it big. Jordan's fork clattered, face paling. "Just grinding, sir. Like everyone." The table chuckled, oblivious. But Alex caught the tremor in Jordan's hand under the linen, the way his eyes flicked to the exit like a trapped animal. Later, in the cab weaving through theater district traffic, Alex pressed. "What was that?" Jordan's jaw set, a muscle ticking. "Nothing. Old habits." But the silence stretched, thick as the fog rolling in off the river, and Alex wondered if habits were all they were. The one night that shattered it came unannounced. A Thursday in late January when the wind howled like banshees down the avenues. Alex had wrapped early, scoring tickets to a queer theater piece off-Broadway. Echoes of Us, a play about fractured loves and reclaimed selves. "Come on," he texted Jordan from the lobby of his building, snowflakes melting on his scarf. "It's us. Perfect date." Jordan's reply pinged back. "Running late. Go ahead, save me a seat." Alex shrugged it off, settling into the velvet seat with a program that mirrored their tagline too neatly. The house lights dimmed, actors spilling confessions under stark spots, and for 2 acts, Alex lost himself in the catharsis. The raw cry of a man betrayed by blood, the tender rebuild with a stranger-turned anchor. Intermission hit, and Alex scrolled his phone, thumb pausing on a notification from Instagram. A tagged story from the office happy hour he'd skipped. Jordan, arm around Harlan in the rooftop lounge, both laughing over scotch glasses. The rainbow pin on Alex's desk visible in the background like a taunt. Curiosity piqued. He tapped through. More stories. Jordan at a bar Alex didn't recognize. Midtown sleekness with leather booths and men in suits who looked like they owned the skyline. Then, a photo Jordan mid-laugh, lips brushing the ear of a guy with a trust fund haircut. Caption: "Networking with the best." Alex's stomach plummeted, the theater's murmur fading to a roar. It wasn't the kiss that gutted him. It was the secrecy, the parallel life unfolding while he waited in the cold. He bolted, coat flapping as he burst into the night, hail stinging his cheeks like accusations. The subway ride home was a blur of fluorescent flickers and strangers' stares. His texts to Jordan going unread. "Where are you? This isn't funny." By the time he slammed into his apartment, the rage had curdled to hurt, tears hot on his face as he paced the creaky floors. The door buzzed at midnight, Jordan's key turning in the lock. Spare given in a flush of trust now poisoned. "Alex? Babe, the train." He stopped dead, taking in the red-rimmed eyes, the phone clutched like evidence. "It's not what?" Jordan started, but Alex thrust the screen forward, voice cracking. "Then what is it? Who is he? And Harlan? Jesus, Jordan, are you playing us all?" The words hung, ugly in the lamplight, and Jordan deflated, sinking onto the futon like a punctured tire. "It's survival," he whispered, head in hands. "Harlan, he knows people. Doors that open for guys like me if I play nice. And the bar? It's just release. No strings, no fallout." Alex recoiled, the room spinning. "Release? While I'm pouring my soul into us. Into you." Jordan looked up, eyes raw. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I thought I could keep it separate, the job, the past, this." He reached, but Alex jerked away, the betrayal a chasm widening with every breath. They tore into each other then, voices rising over the distant wail of sirens. Jordan spilled it all. The pressure from his brother, fresh emails demanding he straighten up or lose the last thread of family. The fear that one wrong move at Vanguard would torch his career before it ignited. I'm not like you, Alex. Out and proud? That's brave as hell. But me? I grew up dodging lightning. One slip and I'm ash. Alex paced, fists clenched, the play's echoes mocking him. Echoes of us, fractured and false. So you lie? To me? We built this on stories, Jordan. Yours was bullshit. The fight crested in sobs, Jordan crumpling, Alex's anger fracturing into grief. Dawn found them spent, curled on opposite ends of the bed, the space between a no-man's land of what-ifs. February dragged in gray, the city a monochrome trap of slush and salt. Alex called in sick for 2 days, holing up with takeout pho and reruns of Queer as Folk. The old Showtime grit that once felt aspirational, now just a reminder of scripted redemption. Jordan's texts piled up. I'm sorry. Let me explain. I love you. The last one hit like a sucker punch, deleted unread, because love shouldn't taste like deceit. At work, the charade held by threads. Nods in the hall, clipped emails on revisions. But the bullpen felt electric with unspoken static, colleagues sensing the chill without naming it. The echo billboards loomed larger now, mocking from every corner. Where your story? Alex's story? A fool's tale, stitched from half-truths. He threw himself into distractions. Brunches with his queer crew at the Rusty Nail, a Hell's Kitchen haunt with rainbow murals and bottomless mimosas. Dump his ass, his best friend Mia declared, clinking glasses, her locks swinging as she leaned in. Plenty of fish in this sea, babe. Remember that barista from last summer? The one with the poetry tattoo. Alex forced a laugh, but it rang hollow, the group's chatter a balm that didn't quite soothe. Nights alone, he scrolled Grindr. Not swiping, just lurking, the anonymity a siren call to numbness. One profile caught his eye, seeking real talk, no games. Tired of the closet. He closed the app, heart twisting. Was that Jordan? Or just the echo of his own ache? Jordan, meanwhile, unraveled in plain sight. Alex caught glimpses. The way he'd stare out the window during meetings, sketches half-finished on his pad. The coffee runs he took solo, returning with shadows under his eyes. A week in, Harlan cornered Alex in the break room, steam rising from the Keurig like interrogator's smoke. Reyes seems off. You two were thick as thieves on Echo. Everything copacetic. Alex's grip tightened on his mug, ceramic hot against his palm. Work stuff. He'll bounce back. Harlan's nod was avuncular, but his eyes lingered, calculating. Good man. He's got potential if he plays team ball. The implication slithered, and Alex excused himself, bile rising. Was this the networking Jordan chased? Power plays in pinstripes? The confrontation brewed inevitable, erupting on a Friday when the team decamped to a speakeasy for after-work drinks. Low lights, velvet booths, jazz humming like a hangover. Alex nursed a whiskey sour, Jordan across the scarred oak table, their knees not quite touching. The group toasted Echo's first sales spike, laughter bubbling, but tension coiled tight. As the crowd thinned, Mia dragging her date to the dance floor, Jordan slid closer, voice low. We need to talk. For real. Alex's pulse thrummed, the ice in his glass clinking like chains. Here? Now? Jordan nodded, desperate. Can't keep pretending. It's killing me. They spilled out onto the sidewalk, the village alive with buskers and bar hoppers, cold air sharpening every edge. Jordan lit a cigarette, rare for him, a tell of fraying nerves, and exhaled a plume that ghosted between them. I ended it. With Harlan, the bar guy, everything. Texts deleted, numbers blocked. It was a crutch, Alex. From before you. His voice cracked, smoke curling like confession. Alex crossed arms, breath fogging. Before me? We were barely a month in and you were building walls. Why not trust me? Jordan's eyes glistened, streetlight catching the wet. Because trusting means losing. My brother called last night. Said if I don't fix myself, he's cutting me off for good. Mom's sick, Alex. Cancer. And I'm here, playing house, while they're falling apart. The revelation landed like a freight train, derailing Alex's fury into something softer, messier, pity laced with resentment. So you what? Sacrifice us to save face? That's not love, Jordan. That's fear. Jordan stubbed the cig, grinding it under his heel. Maybe, but I choose you now. Let me prove it. He stepped closer, hand hovering, and Alex didn't pull away. The kiss was tentative, tasting of tobacco and tears, the city's hum fading to a hush. They walked back to Alex's in silence, shoulders brushing, the weight of unspoken futures heavy as the snow starting to fall. Rebuilding was jagged, a mosaic of apologies and small trusts. Jordan went radio silent with his family. No replies, just space. And threw himself into therapy, sessions squeezed between deadlines, emerging quieter but steadier. Alex joined once, a couple's trial at a queer-friendly clinic in the East Village, where the counselor's neutral tones unpacked the betrayal like puzzle pieces. Jordan's internalized shame, Alex's abandonment scars from his dad. Healing's not linear, she said, notepad balanced on her knee. But it's possible. Nights turned tender again. Movie marathons on the couch, Jordan's head in Alex's lap, fingers carding through that dark hair as credits rolled. Thank you, Jordan murmured one evening, post-Brokeback rewatch, the film's ache mirroring their own. Alex pressed a kiss to his temple. We're in this. But the climax loomed, inevitable as spring thaw. Mid-March, a package arrived at Vanguard, manila envelope, no return address, addressed to Jordan care of the firm. Alex, sorting mail in the absent chaos of a team offsite, slid it open on instinct. Photos grainy but damning, Jordan at that midtown bar, arms around the trust funder, timestamps from weeks ago. Tucked inside, a note in block print. Keep playing and everyone sees. Heart hammering, Alex sealed it but the poison seeped. Blackmail? From who, family? A jealous hookup? He confronted Jordan that night in the apartment. Envelope trembling in his hand. This came today. Explain. Jordan's face drained of color, crumpling onto the kitchen stool amid takeout containers. My brother. He tailed me over Christmas break. Hired some PI when I didn't show for New Year's. Said it was proof to bring me home. The words choked out, laced with disgust. He thinks shaming me fixes everything. Mom's chemo starts next month. He wants me there, straightened. Alex paced, rage boiling. Not at Jordan now, but the world that weaponized love into chains. We go to the cops. Or HR. This ends. Jordan shook his head, wild. And lose everything? The job, the city, us. The argument spiraled, voices echoing off brick walls, until Jordan bolted, coat forgotten, door slamming like a guillotine. Alex chased into the night, streets slick with melting ice, calling Jordan's name into the void. He found him on the Brooklyn Bridge, midway across, wind whipping his jacket like flags of surrender, the East River churning black below. Don't? Alex gasped, closing the distance, hand on Jordan's arm slick with rain. Whatever this is, it's not worth it. Jordan turned, eyes hollow, tears carving tracks down his cheeks. I can't drag you down, Alex. You're light. This. He gestured to the envelope clutched in his fist, then let it flutter over the railing, photos scattering like confetti into the dark. But I won't run. Not from you. They stood there, bridge humming underfoot, the city's arteries pulsing on either side. Alex pulled him close, bodies shielding against the gale, and in that raw grip, the climax broke. Not in screams, but surrender. We fight together, Alex whispered, voice fierce. Your story, my story, ours. Jordan nodded, breaking, sobs muffled in Alex's neck. Dawn painted the skyline pink, a hesitant promise. As they walked back, arms linked, the weight shared now, lighter for it. Spring unfurled tentative in the city, cherry blossoms tentative along the high line, a fragile pink against the steel. Jordan's brother escalated, calls to the office line, veiled threats and voicemails that HR flagged as harassment. But with Alex's nudge, they documented, consulted a lawyer from the firm's pro bono queer alliance. Cease and desist, the attorney said over Zoom, her Brooklyn accent clipped and no nonsense. And if he pushes, restraining order. Jordan hesitated, the prodigal pull warring with his resolve. But Alex's hand on his under the table anchored him. Mom needs me, Jordan admitted later, staring at the skyline from Alex's fire escape, coffee cooling in his mug. But not like this, not as his puppet. The call to Texas came on a Sunday, speakerphone in the sun-dappled living room, Alex beside him like a sentinel. Jordan's voice was steel-wrapped in silk. I'm not coming back. Not that way. Love who I love. Tell Mom I love her. Send updates. Visits on my terms. Silence crackled. Then his brother's snarl. You're dead to us. Ungrateful. Click. Jordan sagged, but Alex caught him, holding tight as the dam broke. Grief for the family fractured. Relief for the chains snapped. It's over, Alex murmured. But Jordan shook his head. Just beginning. Work became their phoenix. Echo Thread's sales soared, the campaign earning a Clio nod, industry gold, and Jordan's name etched beside Alex's on the plaque. Harlan, sensing the shift, backed off with oily grace, proud of the team, in emails that rang false. They celebrated quietly. A rooftop dinner at home, string lights pilfered from the office, skyline as their tablecloth. Jordan raised a glass of cheap Prosecco, eyes bright. To paths converging. Alex clinked, heart full. To stories woven, not worn alone. Yet the humanistic core pulsed deeper, beyond romance's glow. Jordan volunteered at a queer youth center in Harlem, facilitating workshops on coming out. His zine days reborn in Sharpie and stapled pages, kids hanging on his tales of bridges crossed. Alex tagged along, co-leading sessions, watching Jordan bloom. The shy Texan shedding skin, voice steady as he said, Your truth isn't a burden, it's your power. One evening, a teen named Kai, 16, fresh from a Bible Belt transplant, mirrored Jordan's ghosts. Family ultimatums, midnight flights. How do you not break? Kai asked, hoodie sleeves tugged over knuckles. Jordan knelt, I level. You do, and you mend stronger, with people who see you whole. Alex saw it too, the mending. Their love deepened, not in grand gestures but quiet fidelities. Jordan memorizing Alex's coffee order for bad days. Alex leaving notes in Jordan's sketchbook. You're my plot twist. Intimacy wove emotional. Hands held during moonlight screenings. Bodies close but boundaries honored. The trust rebuilt brick by tender brick. One June night, pride swelling the streets with drums and glitter. They marched. Not arm in arm for show, but hands laced, Jordan's pin gleaming beside Alex's. The crowd surged, chants rising. Love is love. Jordan leaned in amid the roar, breath warm on Alex's ear. This is home. You are. The ending came gentle, no tragedies slash but a humanism hard one. Jordan's mom reached out. A halting email after chemo's haze lifted. Proud of your fight, son. Visit soon. No demands, just olive branch. He flew down alone first, returning with pecan pie and stories of tentative tease. His father's absence a scar but not a sentence. Alex met her months later, over brisket in a sunlit kitchen, her hug fierce despite the frailty. He lights up for you, she said, eyes twinkling. That's family. Back in New York, as summer hummed lazy over the Hudson, they pitched their next. A series on queer resilience, stories from the heartland's edges. Jordan's visuals, raw, radiant, paired with Alex's words. Paths diverge, but love redirects. The city, vast and unforgiving, felt smaller now, their corner carved deep. On a fire escape at dusk, fireflies winking from the community garden below. Jordan turned to Alex, hazel eyes steady. One night proved our paths nothing alike. But every dawn since, we've mapped them together. Alex smiled, pulling him close, the skyline a canvas of their becoming. In the concrete jungle, amid betrayals mended and conflicts claimed, they stood, queer, unapologetic, humanly whole. The end? Not a period, but an ellipsis, promising more stories, more light.